Welcome to Phillipolis, a small town in the Free State province of South Africa. We are here to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the founding of this, the oldest town in the province. But we have also come here to see some real wild tigers in the Tiger Canyon Reserve near the town. This is going to be out of this world. And this unique tiger rewilding, breeding and conservation project is already helping to save the species from extinction. The project, which was initiated by John Vardis in the year 2000, is now in the hands of Rodney and Lorna Drew and their dedicated team.
So we'd love to have a little cheetah for a pet, but I don't know how legal that is. So I am delighted to have you here today, and please share your passion and joy with us. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Good morning, my name is Daniela. We are from Tiger Canyon. We're a privately owned game reserve, about 25 kilometers west of Phillipolis, that direction. And much like any other game reserve, we have a lot of general game like zebra, wildebeest, etc. But on our 6,100 hectares of rewilded farmland, we are unique in that we have two of the world's most than 4,000 tigers left in the wild. Now if you compare that to the other big cat species, cheetah being the second most endangered, only 6,000 left in the wild, and if you compare that to other big cat species like leopard, there's about 250,000 left in the wild, about 10,000 in India, 23,000 lions, just to give you an idea of what we're talking about. So an ex situ project basically is talking about a project that is a successful wild population outside of its homeland. So this would be tigers in Asia would be their homeland. Now, the problem with one of the biggest factors that we're facing when it comes to how endangered the tigers are is that Asia is very quickly running out of space. So if we look at where the stronghold of tigers are, that would be in India. So they have just under 3,000 tigers in India. So what used to be a country with very few tiger reserves, but covering a very large area of the country, because of population growth, these areas have now become fragmented and really small pockets. So there's now about 55 tiger reserves in little isolated pockets throughout India, let alone the rest of Asia. And the problem with that is inbreeding. So we have now created a blueprint to show that you can successfully rewild a species like a big cat, the tiger, outside of its homeland. So a lot of people ask questions like, is the habitat the same or is it different? India is very diverse, much like South Africa. So, you have an array of habitats, so the tigers really thrive.
The questions entertains them for up to 8 hours a day, 4 hours in the morning drive and 4 hours in the afternoon drive. So your guides are with your guests for a very long period of time. As Daniela mentioned, you can see perhaps why do we bring tigers to Phillipolis, to Africa? Because it's a question that most guests ponder. And that is because they are so endangered in India. They're way more endangered than the rhino are in Africa or South Africa. Way more endangered. They're way more endangered than the African cheetah. Only 4,000 left in the world. There are more tigers in captivity in the world than there are in the wild in the world.
in Asia looks like, the global human population, India holds 17.76% of the global human population on 2.4% of the surface area of the earth. So a lot of people in a small space, and what that basically means is that we're having less and less space for animals that are supposed to occur there. And when we look at Africa, Africa is massive. 45% of Africa is farmed. Now imagine being able to take a lot of land back, rewild it back to its original state, and help endangered species like Africa's most endangered big cat being the cheetah, and the world's most endangered big cat being the tiger.
Politics, that comes into anybody who's trying to do any business in Africa or South Africa. It's a huge part. But in this case, I'm actually going to refer to politics a little bit more around the politics in the Asian countries. There's 13 Asian countries where the tiger natural habitat is. Most of those, or half of those, no longer have any tigers at all. And the others that do have tigers, 2 of them that I'm thinking of, only have their tigers left in captivity, none left in the wild. Now, why won't they accept a tiger from Africa? Because they won't, politically. Because they want to have the pride that they save their own indigenous species. They don't want an African to come along and help them save their species. So that's political. And the second thing is, there are 6 subspecies of tiger, and they want purebred for each of those different areas. Wherever in other words, they don't want an African tiger in their population, they want a purebred stud tiger in their population, if it comes from Africa.
The little orphan cheetah now, they lost their mother, and we're going to look after them until they're big enough to be released in the cheetah area, and then they'll be wilded and they'll learn to hunt for themselves.